Now, let's see it's non it's non division of nine people. The architecture project and food development and development. What is my choice? So this whole number two single point. It is a common theme that is representing here on this global platform on behalf of expression learning research by the Limited and Limited. I'm really so grateful for it. And this it's an honor to me that I'm representing here. To have the expression learning research public limited and Limited. So grateful for it. Now I'm going to start my topic, hunger. Hunger is the level
एक मेंटल एलिमेंट्स मार्क कर कहाँ है? इसमें अधूरे दिए हुए हैं और लुमकड़ की फाइल में देखने तो कौन सी? अरे वो जो प्रिंट आउट नहीं थी
Yes. So my warm greetings to each and everyone. Am I audible? Please let me know. Abha ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So we have our global mentor, Astara ma'am from Malaysia. Ma'am, I give a warm welcome to you, ma'am. Abha ma'am, the academic director of Expression Resource Private Limited. Ma'am, I give you also a very warm welcome. Thank you, ma'am, for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So, without wasting a time, I would like to proceed with the Global Peace Sustainable Development Summit 2023, Day 1. So, thank you very much, all the dignitaries, for joining us around the world. I, Dr. Supriya Pathak, the member of Witty Gossip Association, welcomes all of you in this global platform. So let's start first the introduction of the Witty Gossip Association and the Expression Resource Private Limited. So the Witty Gossip Association offers a robust platform for intellectual and intellect personalities around the globe, where great mind discuss ideas. Before going further, now I would like to ensure with the team. Have you live streaming on the YouTube? Have you started the live streaming on YouTube?
yes ma'am
Okay, okay, that's very good. That's very good, sir. So, without wasting a time, let's start with the introduction. Witty Gossip Association offers a robust platform for intellectual and intellect personalities around the globe, where great minds discuss ideas. This Witty Club and its members from all disciplinary professions across the world each year hosts its annual meeting, the Grand Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit 2023. The team Witty Gossip is fortunate enough that we have collaborated for this grand event with the Expression Resource Private Limited, a startup approved by the Indian government that receives funding support not only from the India but also from the other countries. Expression English works in the field of learning English, developing communication skills, and making people employable. So, having with the gracious presence of representatives from all the transactional chapters around the world, ensuring the community of intellectual people at let us explore the way towards the global empowerment for the sustainable development. With this great thought, now I would like to invite Mrs. Abha Monde, the Academic Director of Expression Learning Resource Private Limited. The Abha Monde is a pluringual. She is a fluent in German, English, Marathi, Hindi, and can understand Gujarati and Punjabi and Bengali. She have a A1 level in Spanish, caption the national table tennis team of university, and also lead the Madhya Pradesh Scout Guide Squadron for the President Award Rally at Rashtrapati Bhavan. Presently, she is heading academics as a director with Expression Learning Resource Private Limited. She has taught English and German in the University of Indore. Dear Madam, your short intro actually is very long, but your dedicated efforts in the education industry. Now, without wasting a time, I would like to invite Abha ma'am for inaugural address. Dear Abha ma'am, now the
Yes.
virtual stage is yours.
Yes, you are actually, your voice is echoing, ma'am.
Okay, yes ma'am. I am checking ma'am. Ma'am, please proceed.
Sure, thank you. So thank you very much, and thank you for the introduction of expressions and as well as mine. I welcome all the dignitaries from the world who are going to participate in this Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit organized by Witty Gossip. Today's topic is no poverty. We know that the pandemic, COVID pandemic, has left the world with miserable circumstances and results, and the world is right now fighting against it and trying to stand itself powerful again on all the fields. And as the UN itself says, science and technology is going to be the way forward to fight against such pandemics and challenges ahead. So all the best to all the participants who are going to be here and the dignitaries who are going to speak in front on different topics, as well as the students who are from expressions who are using this platform. I am taking this liberty to say this, who are using this platform to boost their confidence of speaking in English in front of international speakers as well as dignitaries. Thank you very much for giving this platform to us, and we are highly delighted and honored to participate in this event. Thank you very much. All the best. Is the voice still echoing? Hello?
No, ma'am, it's not echoing now. It's
Okay.
Yes. So actually, I have some technical issue. So that's why I am joining. Hello. I have some technical issue with my personal computer. So I have joined with the Professor Dr. Manmeet Singh sir. Yes. Technical team, please switch on the mic. Yeah.
Yes. Now that is okay. Yes. So now without wasting a time, I would like to invite our Malaysian mentor, Astara ma'am, for giving her views.
Yes. Views about what, Dr. Supriya? About today's event?
Yes, ma'am. About the global sustainable development, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Welcome, organizers and the team, Dr. Supriya, Pathak, all the honorable guests, speakers, dear audience from all over the world. Sustainable Development Goal is very important for us to sustain ourselves, and not only ourselves, all living beings on this earth, and also all the resources bestowed, given as gift by God, the Creator, to us, to each and every one of us. We have to learn about how to keep ourselves and the lives of others peaceful, happy, healthy, and also provide a conducive environment and world for our future generation. And we also have to strive to educate our students in this area so that they will be well prepared from now itself. We can introduce sustainable development goals from primary school itself. Of course, as educators, we know how to impart knowledge to different age groups so that we can achieve whatever goals set by United Nations by 2030. I'm confident at the rate at the world leaders are moving. I am talking on sustainable development goals with many organizations all around the world. And I find that we have great leaders and their team who are working very hard toward establishing it, to spread knowledge to everyone on this globe. So I thank you for being here today, and I wish all the best to every one of you. Let's share, let's grow, let's have a peaceful life and provide a peaceful life for others too. Thank you, Dr. Supriya. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, dear, for presenting your views about the sustainable development. Thank you, Abha ma'am, actually for joining us because due to some technical issue. Yes, ma'am. So thank you very much, ma'am, for your gracious presence. Abha ma'am, actually we are very grateful to the team expression that just because of team expression, we are here. We are here in this global platform. Now, following the agenda.
Together here, ma'am.
Yes. Now, following the today's agenda, here I would like to introduce our honorable guest of honor, Professor Dr. Deepra Jha, our inaugural speaker. He will be addressing how tourism and hospitality can play a role in poverty reduction. He is a leading expert in a tourism strategy and joining us from the west coast of the United States. It gives me a great pleasure to virtually welcome Professor Deepra Jha to this year's summit. A quick introduction of Professor Deepra Jha. He is a scholarly associate professor at Washington State University, Carishon College of Business, and assistant director of the School of Hospitality Business Management. He teaches classes in hospitality management and international business to undergraduate students and for the highly ranked executive, MBA and online MBA programs. He also serves on the board of directors of the state of Washington Tourism. A global scholar and a renowned speaker, he has done work with the Tourism Authority of Thailand, Ministry of Tourism in Oman, and many other organizations. He has received many awards, including the President's Award for a Leadership from Washington State University. Professor Jha will be speaking for about 15 minutes, and the audience will have the opportunity to ask him questions. Professor Jha, thank you very much for joining us today. Now I over to you, Professor Jha. This virtual stage is now yours. Sir, please proceed. I would like to request technical team. Please give all the rights to the Deepra Jha, sir.
Namaskar and good morning to all of you. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir. Very much clear, sir.
Very good. Thank you for inviting me to this important summit. It is absolutely wonderful to join all of you to talk about SDG goal number 1, no poverty. So do I have screen sharing rights so that I can start my presentation?
Yes. I would like to request technical team, please give the rights to share the presentation.
We already.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you for inviting me to this virtual event. I am very grateful and deeply honored. What I want to talk about today is the role of tourism in poverty alleviation. When we talk about the role of tourism in poverty alleviation, the first thing we need to look at is how big the economic impact of tourism is on the world. So I looked at some data right before the pandemic, and travel and tourism accounted for 1 in 4 of all new jobs created across the world. That means 25% of all new jobs created in the world were from the field of tourism and hospitality. That is absolutely huge. More than 10% of all jobs in the world, almost 333 million, which is almost equivalent to the entire population of the country that I live in, United States. That many jobs are a result of tourism and hospitality. And tourism and hospitality contributes to more than 10% of global GDP, which is $9.6 trillion. That is a lot of money, which means that tourism does have the power and the privilege to help reducing poverty across the world. So I thought it would be important for us to look at this quote from the International Labour Office. Tourism is increasingly recognized as a major source of economic growth, particularly in poor countries. However, I want to highlight the fact that, of course, we need to talk about the global south or the more developing economies, but tourism has the potential to uplift the economic situation and create jobs even in the developed countries as well. And we are going to look at that in the next few slides. So when I'm talking about poverty reduction to tourism, I would default on the value chain approach that was recommended by the International Labour Office. So what is the value chain approach? Basically, the value chain approach has 4 distinct parts or segments. First one is sustainable destination. How does a destination become sustainable? It becomes sustainable by benefiting the local poor by providing access to markets and jobs. That means this could be a rural destination where there are local artisans or farmers, and tourism can play a big role in giving them access to both the markets and creating job opportunities for them. It could be for them working in an ecotourism project, in a hotel or resort or anything like that. The next part of the value chain approach is opportunities for disadvantaged groups. Well, when a group or a group of people are already disadvantaged, they have tremendous barrier towards financial security and success. So what can tourism do to reduce some of those barriers and help uplift people from the underrepresented or disadvantaged groups? So one of the big things about tourism is that many of the jobs in tourism require little or no formal training. You can probably take somebody with an intermediate level of education, high school or less, and actually skill them up to perform many of the jobs in the industry, and that in that way give them an opportunity to earn an income and actually be on a path to much more financial freedom and success. And then, of course, along with that is providing opportunities for people facing social or skill advantages. Once again, access to education, access to skill training is not equal depending on where a person lives. It creates tremendous amounts of barriers, urban versus rural, developed versus developing versus much poorer countries. Those are some of the issues that we see a lot. The third aspect would be working conditions and social dialogue. That means, what can tourism do to actually highlight skill development as well as working conditions in the workplace? And that is very important. That means, is the workplace safe? Is the workplace welcoming? Is the workplace inclusive? And so on and so forth. And connected to that is the concept of equality. That means the tourism and hospitality workplace should be engaging. It should provide opportunity and treatment. It should be free of things like violence, exploitation, stress, and sexual harassment, which is huge in almost all workplaces around the world, especially in workplaces where there are a lot of low-skilled or unskilled labor performing, such as tourism. And we need to highlight this, that women on average are paid 20% less than their male workers for comparable skills. And during the pandemic, as a matter of fact, women lost jobs in tourism and hospitality at a far greater rate than their male counterparts. So women and marginalized groups faced a double whammy of economic depression or compression, especially during the pandemic. So the value chain approach highlights how we can actually mitigate some of these issues and help alleviation of poverty through tourism. Now let's look at some of the strategies of poverty alleviation through tourism. What can tourism do to reduce poverty? The first thing would be evaluation and monitoring of the environmental impact of major tourism developments. What does that mean? It means that whenever there is a large infrastructure or tourism investment coming in at a destination, that they should be very, very critically monitored and evaluated so that there is no displacement effect happening. And let me explain what displacement effect is. Displacement effect means that when you actually have a large influx of tourists or an investment coming into a destination, the prices rise and the local people are essentially pushed out of that. And displacement effect is not contained only in rural or underdeveloped areas. Whenever we talk about issues like over-tourism, say, we are seeing that in cities like even Barcelona or New York or Venice and so on and so forth, where landlords were actually pushing out their renters because they want to actually rent their flats or apartments on Airbnb, which much more money. But then what happens to the student, to the middle-class person who actually wants to be able to live in the city? It becomes absolutely impossible for them. So this is called the displacement effect. And as we are talking about poverty alleviation, we have to be sensitive that the people who are the people of the land are not pushed out while tourism development is happening. The second point, the second part of the strategy would be local sourcing. Local sourcing means that can we actually source much of the food, much of the materials, many of the things that the tourism and hospitality industry uses from local vendors, especially small and medium enterprises. And I want to show you an example of how a very well-known luxury hotel chain does local sourcing. So for example, I do a lot of work with the hotel industry here in the United States and around the world. So I get to stay in numerous hotels, including luxury hotels around the world. And here is an example of local sourcing from my stay at the Four Seasons Hotel in Seattle. Four Seasons is one of the most well-known luxury hotel brands in the world. They are a North American brand, but they are present everywhere in the world, and they are very well known for their experiential luxury. So during one of my stays at the Four Seasons Hotel in the city of Seattle, when I entered my room, I saw this was actually waiting for me. This amenity was waiting for me. As you can see that it has a letter with my name on it, and I will describe what the letter says, that the letter is basically saying that they are welcoming me, and these chocolates are essentially inspired by the oysters from the Pacific Ocean where Seattle is located on. And Pike Place Market, or the public market, is very next door to this hotel. So they are essentially paying homage to something that's absolutely, absolutely local. Then on the very next day, when I came back to my room, I saw this was waiting for me. Once again, an example of local sourcing. So again, the note next to that wine bottle is saying that the hotel has provided a bottle of Washington white wine for me and Beecher's cheese. Now, let me stop here for a minute and explain that why this is beyond even local sourcing. Now, Washington is the second largest wine producing state in America after California. And when we talk about wine, we are not only talking about alcohol, because remember, wine is made from grapes, which is an agricultural product. That means when a luxury hotel like the Four Seasons is giving a guest a bottle of Washington wine, they are actually promoting the growers and the farmers in the state of Washington. So as you can see, whenever we are talking about the value chain approach, it goes right back into the community, into the farmers. And this is a great example of agritourism. And the same thing about the cheese. What is cheese? Cheese is made from milk. Once again, we are going back to farmers who are actually producing milk, or milk producers. So this is a great example of that this luxury brand sourcing two products. Both are agricultural products coming from the farms, one made from grapes, another made from milk, but locally sourced, and they are benefiting the local economy. So this is a great example of how local sourcing can be done. And this can be done at any level of the business, whether it is a well-known luxury brand like Four Seasons, or it could be a small hotel by the side of the roadside who are actually buying fresh vegetables from the farmers in the village. And I know we have colleagues on this webinar from places like Indonesia and so on and so forth. Like when we talk about tourism, for example, in Indonesia, Bali is a great example, and many of the hotels there are doing a very good job in doing these types of local sourcing and helping the local community thrive through economic upliftment. So I just kind of wanted to show you some of these examples. And finally, the day I was leaving, I came back to my room and I saw this paper box actually inside my room. And when I opened the box, once again, local sourcing. There's a pumpkin tart, and there's this suitcase that looks like, a trunk that people used from yesteryears. And inside the trunk was locally made chocolates. There is a very famous local chocolate company in the city of Seattle called France Chocolates, and the chocolates were there. So I just wanted to show the examples of how local sourcing is done in real life, in terms of how brands can actually actually stimulate the local economy through local sourcing. The third point would be promoting local ownership. And how do we promote local ownership? One of the huge barriers for people in starting businesses, especially people who do not have access to knowledge or capital and so on and so forth, is access to financing. Many rural areas in the world are not served by banks. So how does a person get even access to financing and take a small loan? Well, microcredit can play a very, very big role in that. And there's a lot of good work happening around the world in many countries. For example, in Bangladesh, they have a microcredit organization called the Grameen Bank, and they have done very good work in providing small loans, especially to women's cooperatives to start their small businesses. And that can fit right into the supply chain and local sourcing that we were talking about. Then supporting local employment, so that, when an investor or a management company is coming in and putting up a big tourism project, it could be an ecotourism park, it could be a resort, it could be whatever else, that the idea should be to actually skill the local people and generate local employment. Because what it does is that when people are earning salaries, they're going to spend the same salary in the local economy. They're going to be consuming things. They'll be building houses. They'll be buying televisions and refrigerators and all of that. And that essentially stimulates the local economy and helps uplift essentially the whole part, because tourism has a very big potential that if you invest $1 or in tourism, actually the multiplier effect can be up to the factor of 9 or 10. That means, you get almost $10 in return, which is absolutely huge. Then strengthening collaboration and communication. What does that mean? It means that it is very important for any kind of tourism development to actually take the community into confidence. And how do you do that? You do that through outreach. You do that through education. That is extremely important. That means that no decisions about people without involving them, so that anybody is building a hotel by a seaside or a fisherman's community and so on and so forth, that the local people has to be consulted. They need to be taken into confidence through outreach and education, and also bring them into the fold of how they can benefit from that. And finally, addressing workplace deficits. It is very important, especially now that we have already entered in almost about to end the first quarter of the 21st century, that we create fair working conditions for everybody, especially the people who are at the lowest rung of the ladder, the people who do the dull, the dirty, and the dangerous jobs within any industry, but specifically in tourism and hospitality. For example, in hotels, the people who clean the rooms, the housekeepers, that their job is the most dangerous. They get injured a lot. They're dealing with a lot of stuff, whether it is sharp items and needles and so on and so forth. How do we create an environment where those people are taken care of and we create fair working conditions? Also, a huge thing is elimination of child labor. Now, this is a difficult thing to do because in many developing countries, child labor continues to exist because of a variety of reasons, because families would send their young children because they simply do not have the wherewithal to feed them. If everybody does not work, everybody does not eat in that family. But elimination of child labor, especially in the context of poverty alleviation, children should be in school, children should be nourished, and children should be learning and not actually doing backbreaking work in the fields or washing dishes in roadside eateries and so on and so forth. So those are essentially the 6 points that the International Labour Office has cited for poverty alleviation through tourism. And I just wanted to end on a more hopeful note, in a sense that we are talking about poverty alleviation through tourism, but tourism as a discipline is moving very quickly. For example, I live in the state of Washington in America, and of course, one of our companies is very well known. Amazon is a Washington company, and Amazon's founder, Jeff Bezos, actually has another company called Blue Origin, which is a space tourism company. Tourism is now moving into space. They have already started taking space tourists into space. Of course, it is very expensive right now, but hopefully, as we are talking about the Sustainable Development Goals of no poverty, we hope that as our frontiers of humankind gets expanded, and as we actually, more and more people start traveling and living in space, as a matter of fact, Blue Origin, the company, is actually building the orbital reef, which will be basically a satellite colony for humans to live in space, that we hope that these goals of no poverty will actually see the light of the day, and we will actually have a world that is kinder and much more equal and championing of social justice. That is the end of my presentation. I would be more than happy to answer any questions or comments. And once again, thanks everybody for inviting me for this session.
Thank you very much, sir. Actually, the team of Witty Gossip Association and the team of Expression Resource Private Limited, actually, we are very grateful that from the land of United States, you actually have joined us virtually. So we are fortunate enough with your gracious presence. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Actually, sir, with the help of you, like intellectual people, definitely we will achieve the sustainable development. We will achieve the global empowerment. Sir, in your whole presentation, you actually talked about the economic upliftment. Actually, the economic upliftment is very necessary if we want to eradicate the poverty. Sir, your presentation was amazing, and you actually enlighten us about the SDG 1, no poverty. So now I would like to invite my friend, our mentor of the Witty Gossip Association, Christiana. Christiana, do you want to say something about the Dipra Jha sir's presentation?
Good morning to all. Thank you for invitation. Thank you to see amazing, beautiful, dear people here. Thank you, Dr. Dipra Jha. Amazing point of tourism and traveling, and how to support local local business, small business, and that in Croatia we support and we develop the similar guest gifts and develop the different sources of what can we share to our guests in Croatia, because we are tourist land, and that is the point how we developed the small businesses in the local area. Yes, thank you. It's amazing point. And in Croatia we have small amount drop in of school of students, and we support them to be in the schools until 16 years old, and they develop skills for small business and entrepreneurship. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Actually, in the Witty Gossip Association, we have this gesture. That means we are together. We believe in the work with the together. And actually, this gesture means joining hands. So now I would like to request our honorable guest of honor, Dipra Jha. Sir, please do this gesture so the whole technical team will capture you. So I am giving a spotlight, sir. Just hold down. Yes, okay. So technical team, Shruti, please give the spotlight to sir.
Yes, ma'am, we are taking care of it.
Yes, yes, yes. Amazing. So, sir, I have captured your screenshot. And sir, thank you very much for joining our movement. Actually, the Witty Gossip Association have the movement that let's joining hands and let's connect the nation. So, sir, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, sir. So now, without wasting a time, now I would like to invite our an honorable guest speaker from the land of Croatia, the mentor of Team Witty Gossip Association, Professor Dr. Nada. So, Professor Dr. Nada, actually, he is a great educator. He is a great researcher. He actually joined many international and national conferences virtually and in a physical mode. So, Dr. Nada, now the virtual stage is your, dear. Please present your views on the SDG 1, no poverty.
Very good morning and greetings from Croatia. Honored and grateful to be here this year again. So happy, so excited. Thank you, dear Dr. Supriya, for this opportunity and to the whole Witty Gossip team. I want to first also say hello to my beautiful and dear Christina, and you know, she is encouraging me because we are stronger here, Croatia. Thank you, dear Christina. I will share now my presentation. So let's see. Why AD1? It is very hard when we are choosing one from the 17. But I say let's start first day. Is my presentation visible? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So let's start with my speech, my presentation, and after amazing, great presentation and talking about the tourism, no poverty. What it means, no poverty. We need to end poverty in all its forms everywhere. So look at this: health insurance, microfinance, financial, food security, income equality, unemployment, energy poverty. There's so many things where we can do the things for making this and getting better results. But 2022 was really a terrible year for poverty. So will 2023 be better? We are almost in the April. Do we see the changes? Yes, if we are talking about the pandemic, we know that we have so big impacts on all spheres of our life. But we are still fighting. We are still fighting because we know that the numbers are not, I can say the numbers are really not promising. Not only in the poorest country, if we're talking about the African country, everywhere in the world. Now, earthquake, everything is having a big impact on this statistics if we are talking about the numbers and the percent. So what will be with 2030? I can say that this policy, this number, this percentage, this about the world population in all the countries, we will not achieve that. If we're talking about my country, I'm coming from Croatia. We are a beautiful country. We have so many, I can say that we could be the richest country on the world because we have all the things to make, not only tourism, industry, but everything is dead in our country. So many people in Croatia is really suffering. We have so many people who are living still in the poverty. And the percent of 83%, that is a big number. And this photo really, especially in the biggest town, bigger town in Croatia, you can see this. So what we are doing now, like a part of European Union, now, especially after the new year, we get a new value, a valute called euro. Now we are feeling the highest prices. We are feeling how the life is more harder in our country. So the population surveys, and we especially we who are taking care about the statistics, we are monitoring the Central Bureau of Statistics, we're monitoring the Eurostat, and we are taking care about this income and living conditions, and on this way we are getting the numbers. So again, I will repeat, 2021 was 92%, and now also we didn't move from this percent of growing. What we need to do, how to make this poverty rate is decreasing. And I'm sure we know that in 2015 it was 99%. How can we do what we can do, and not like what the politics do, what the economic do in our country. So big risk of child poverty. Here, according to the Eurostat, 120,000 girls and boys in Croatia, it is 17% that are growing up at the risk of poverty. And me, who is working in the education sector, I really see that so many students who don't have a meal, and that situation is more worse every day. So what we need to do, how to help this, especially what I do with my students, and what we need to do with the students doing these actions, humanitarian actions, voluntary actions. This is the only way how can we help this situation. I'm living in I can say one of the richest county in Croatia, but still, there are so many rural parts where you see the students are coming from that part, they don't have the main conditions for the living. We are taking so many initiatives from the European Union. We are taking so many grants, and what we can do here, we can make a project. We have an opportunity, especially we have Erasmus project where we can help our students to go to other countries without money, because especially we know that students will have no opportunity to visit no country, and on this way they will visit the country and they will learn. So this is one of the great possibilities that we have in Croatia, this Erasmus mobilities. Learn, and I can say you can learn and have fun. I will not here talk about this. This is more than 15 minutes, but I want to say, SWOT analyze. Coming here, we need to, if we want to make the situation better, for everything what we are doing, we need to make a SWOT analysis. And for our politics, we need to make, and we need to put the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. So education, after tourism, like I say, education can make a big transformation of the life. We can help here, helping in many things. Like example, here, how we make actions save Africa. This is one of our missions, voluntary missions. We have so many priests in Africa, and we are sending the help our students, and also we have an opportunity to have one child. Like example, we are choosing, my students, we choose every year a new child who we are helping in the primary school or secondary school, and I'm really proud on that action. You see, when this is a miracle lady from my town, when you see this, they say to us, "Hvala." Hvala means thank you. This is the best present you can get. No gold, nothing. When you see this child with a smile, this is the biggest present. Then Thank you for the sweeties, sweeties. When we send them sometimes also our food. So on this way, our cookers, our waiters, we are making so many voluntary actions. This is not only once, twice. We are doing this on the monthly basis. We are doing this on the monthly basis because we can do that. And helping poor people, giving them the lunch, the dinner. This is one of the actions I can say that uh, uh, you need to do, because if we only talk and not do the actions, we are not visible, we are not helping, and we are trying, and this is the way how we can help the people where we are living. Students with special needs, students with gifts, old people, these students are visiting them, and for Easter and for Christmas. Now we are preparing presents for them. So what education can do, and what you like an educator can do and help. We come to the learning outcomes. We need to recognize the potential importance of the volunteering. This way, we are encouraging. We are bringing the awareness to our students. They really have that feeling. I said at the beginning that we have so many students who don't have the meal, but we are helping them. So that students in my school, my university, really have the main meal. Making the project planning, short plans, long-term projects, having that impact on the local community, because we always need to start for our local community and then go. So we are acting national and international. I will say we will continue doing, we will support all these voluntary and humanitarian actions. So ourselves we can do a little, but together we can achieve everything. Thank you for this opportunity. I was short because I know that we have not a lot of time. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yes, dear. Just hold on. I am capturing your screenshot, dear. Yes. Yes. Done, dear. Done. Wow, what a great thought. Together we can achieve everything. Dear, actually, I just amazed with this great thought. Yes, together we can achieve each and everything. Dear, could you do please again, because your screenshot? Yes, yes. Okay, now your network bandwidth is perfect. Yes, thank you. So, Professor Nada, thank you very much for joining
Thank
us,
you.
for
Thank you
enlightening
so
us
much.
on SDG 1, no poverty. Thank you very much, dear. Now, without wasting a time, I would like to invite our next speaker, Sir Lorenzo C. Corulo, teacher second, San Pablo City, Laguna, Philippines. Sir, are you there?
From the good morning, am I audible enough?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. You are audible. You are very much audible, sir.
From the Pearl of the Orient Seas, Philippines. Good day, everyone, especially to our distinguished guests. And a big thanks to the organizer of this event. It is a great honor for me being part of this endeavor. The moment I read about this summit, I truly got interested because I know it could be a great help, especially to those who belong to marginalized sectors. Being a citizen of the Philippines, country of the third world country, we could see that it is education that could really help us be alleviated from poverty. Now do I have the right to share my screen so I could help? I could easily transcribe this presentation.
Okay. I would like to request technical team, please give all the rights to share the presentation.
Thank
Sir
you.
Lorenzo, yes. Yes, sir. You are co-host now. Yes. Okay, sir.
A moment, please. So, end poverty in all its forms everywhere. According to Mahatma Gandhi, before I would like to begin this inspirational talk anchored to Mahatma Gandhi's quotation that poverty is the worst form of violence. Nobody deserves that kind of violence, but majority, or should I say, more than 90% of the people are experiencing this worst kind of violence. There's because of this poverty, we are experiencing inequality as well. And by 2023, we envision to end poverty in all its forms everywhere, especially to those areas who really are in need of this initiative. As an educator in the Department of Education Philippines and one of the Filipinos who have first-hand experience with poverty alleviation through education, I would like to focus on number 4 of these 7 ways to end poverty as presented by Concerned World United States, a humanitarian organization. It says here that number 1, we eliminate poverty through equity. 2, reducing poverty with resilience. 3, to commit to climate change solutions and justice. 4, eradicating poverty through education. 5, halting poverty by ending hunger and thirst. 6, poverty alleviation through peace. 7, cash solves poverty. And again, as educator, I would like to focus on number 4. Eradicating poverty through education, quality education specifically. According to UNESCO, still from the Concerned World US, a humanitarian organization, if students in low-income countries could have just basic reading and writing skills, providing nothing else, let's say only those literacy, an estimated of 171 million people could escape extreme poverty. If all adults completed secondary education, we could cut the global poverty rate by more than half. Education develops skills and abilities, correct some of the imbalances, and come out of marginalization, and decreases both risk and vulnerability, especially again, vulnerability of the marginalized sectors. It is an irony that education can eradicate poverty, while poverty is a hindrance to education. Education directly correlates with many solutions to poverty, such as economic growth, reduced income inequality, reduced infant and maternal deaths, reduced stunting, reduced vulnerability to transferable and communicable diseases like HIV and AIDS, reduced violence at home and society. For this reason, the Fourth Sustainable Development Goal, or SDG, of UN 2030 agenda relates to education to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning. Not just to those who have access to education, but for everyone, to all, as education is a right of every citizen of every country. Poverty and education are inextricably linked. Not even the person without an education lives in extreme poverty. If you would look around, those who you would notice that most of the poor people, the poorest of the poor, are mostly uneducated, the uneducated ones. Poor people stop going to school because they have work, they have to work. Most of the time, especially here in the Philippines, even at a very early age, we could say as early as starting to when they could start walking, they would start working already because it's a need. We have to because of the economic situation we are experiencing here. That leaves them without literacy and numeracy skills needed to improve the situation. With little income and few options, their children are also more likely to leave school, perpetuating a cycle of poverty, poor parents having or making poor children, and their children raising another generation of poor people. If they would be educated enough, poverty could be alleviated. Some of the key areas that we should focus for making sure that education is truly for all involves breaking down the barriers to education. These are the following: access to school in remote areas, supporting teachers in their work to deliver quality education, and making sure that education is available to children in fragile contexts, especially those who are the learners with disabilities. In reports issued by the United Nations Committee on Economic and Social and Cultural Rights, DepEd stated, in the Philippine context, DepEd stated its concern over the need to strengthen the country's public education sector by increasing the educational budget. In fact, I am proud to present that DepEd still gets the biggest funding this 2023 to resolve economic issues, especially in the field of education in the Philippines. We are exerting all efforts to fund education. But of course, in some other countries, this budget would not be that enough. But in the Philippine context, this is so far the biggest, allotting 8 billion for the education sector or the Department of Education. Because we take seriously the education as the key to alleviating poverty or ending poverty, all kinds of poverty. The challenge is, if the Philippines, being one of the third world countries, could do this kind of leap, it is definitely attainable, especially to more developed countries. I am appealing to every government, democratic or not, to give free quality education to everyone. To educate is to empower. Empowered citizens will never be poor. So it is a challenge I would like to leave to every government, and especially to those who are to governments who have greater access to resources. We are also pleading for your support in any means, educational resources or funding or whatever form of help you could offer to countries who are in need for free quality education. It is said that education is for all, and unfortunately, not everyone has access to it. And it is, as an educator, I believe that it is my duty or responsibility to make this initiative, this call for help to those who have the resources. That would be all. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, what a great thought. Poverty is the worst form of violence. You actually mentioned the father of the India. You actually also mentioned the eradicating poverty through education. Yes, of course. With the help of education, we definitely eradicate the poverty. Thank you very much, sir, for your uh, enlightening on the SDG 1, no poverty. Thank you very much for joining us. Actually, we are fortunate that the intellectual minded people like you have joined us. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yes. Now, without wasting a time, I would like to invite, sir, could you please stop the sharing? Yes. Yes. Okay. Sir, actually, as I told you that we have the gesture of joining at hands. Yes, sir. Yes. So I'm giving you a spotlight. Just hold on. Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much, sir, for joining us. Yes. Thank you, sir. Just hold on. I am saving this screenshot, the special screenshot. Yes. Now, I would like to invite our next guest speaker, Dr. Frolin D. Mobo, the Assistant Director and the Associate Professor. He is from the land of Philippines, from the city Subic, Zambales. So, Dr. Frolin, now the whole stage, the whole virtual stage of the Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit is yours. So, we welcome you on behalf of Witty Gossip Association and the team Expression Resource Private Limited. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, pleasant good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Dr. Frodan Limo from the Republic of the Philippines. So, of course, part of SDG number 1 is by providing, of course, low-income families with a possible sustainable livelihood project, which is being done by by the government. This opportunity is one method to end, of course, poverty. Of course, by doing this, they could achieve sustainability, development, and their goals with that. And of course, some of the priorities which is provided by the government and other NGOs in the Philippines, which is also under my leadership, under the International Human Rights Movement, is provide initiatives to eliminate poverty, which includes, of course, by enhancing equal access to viable means of subsistence, business possibilities, and valuable resources. And second, by granting everyone access to fundamental social services, and of course, creating social protection programs which gradually assist individuals who are unable to maintain themselves. So just like what we are doing in my work at the Philippine Merchant Marine Academy, we provide these community extension programs just to elevate, of course, the status of their lives. For example, the local fishermen of nearby San Narciso Zambales, we provide training programs that would be able to help those local fishermen to uplift their lives by giving them training that they would be able to know and provide other resources, just like having a livelihood programs. Of course, by doing this, a policy can reduce inequality by providing, of course, by promoting inclusive rural development and, of course, enhancing access to and quality education by providing training and social safety systems. That's what we are doing by doing community extension program and addressing opportunity disparity. So with that, I think those kind of projects that what we are doing in my NGO and of course in my work at the Philippine Merchant Marine Academy is those things can be able to help our poor family, especially here in nearby Zambales. So I think that would be all on my part. So thank you for inviting me, and once again, mabuhay and good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir, for your short and very sweet address on the eradication of the poverty. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, would you like to join your hand, sir? Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So just hold on, sir. Actually, I am again pinning you. Yes. So please do this again, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Actually, these joining hands represent that we believe that together we can achieve everything. Together, we can move forward for the global empowerment and for the sustainable development. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Actually, sir have joined us from the land of Philippines. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yes. Now, without wasting a time, I would like to invite the honorable guest of honor from the land of India, Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani, the Dean Management of the Oriental University Indore. Actually, with the help of Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani, he believes that the no poverty and the eradication of the no poverty is necessary, and we eradicate the poverty only with the help of education. So I'm just checking with the Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani. I think there is some issue. Just hold on.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Please start my video. Actually, video is stopped by host.
Okay, just hold on, ma'am. I would like to request technical team, please check whether there is a problem issue with the camera from our side.
Yes, ma'am. Technical team. You have to on the video.
Okay. Now it is okay.
Yes. Okay, now this is okay, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, dear ma'am. Yeah. Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani is the Dean Management in the very prestigious university, Oriental University Indore. Actually, the Oriental University Indore is the leading university of all private universities around the central India. And Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani actually serves as a Dean Management in the Department of Faculty of Management and Commerce in the Oriental University Indore. So now, Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani, the virtual stage is yours. Over to you, ma'am. Please proceed with your speech, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. My warm greetings to you all dignitaries present here. I, Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani, Dean Management, Oriental University, feeling very much positive as we are here in this global platform to share our views and give solutions toward the global empowerment. Today, in the GPSDS 2023 Day 1, the talking point is SDG 1.
Hello, ma'am, your screen is not visible.
I start. Some technical fault is there.
Please turn on your camera. Click on camera icon.
Yes.
Technical team, is there any problem with the Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani's actually on our end?
Yes, ma'am. Our device camera is not turned on. I'm guiding him.
Okay.
If this may help.
Yes. So just hold on. I am also checking it.
Ma'am, camera is on, but maybe this camera is not connected properly.
What happened, Mausam?
Ma'am, camera is not connected properly. So you need to check the connection and reconnect the camera. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you can change camera on clicking the arrow.
Muslim Dr. Is changing her seat, so she will be joining us with Dr. Supriya on Dr. Supriya's camera.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Since they're
Okay.
sitting at the same location. Yes, ma'am, you are visible now.
Okay, okay,
Thank you.
okay, okay. Now, my warm greetings to you all dignitaries present here. I, Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani, Dean Management, Oriental University, Indore, feeling very much positive as we are here in this global platform to share our views and give solutions towards the global empowerment. Today, in the GPSDS 2023, Day 1, the talking point is SDG 1, no poverty. Eradicating poverty is not a task of charity. It's an act of justice and the key to unlocking an enormous human potential. Still, nearly half of the world's population lives in poverty, and lack of food and clean water is killing thousands every single day of the year. Together, we can feed the hungry, wipe out disease, and give everyone in the world a chance to prosper and live a productive and rich life. With this view, I would like to thank all organizers, Expression Resource Private Limited and Witty Gossip Association for organizing such a great event. Thank you.
Dr. Rashmi, I would
Yes.
request you to join your hands once again so
Okay.
that my. Yes, thank you,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, we have taken the screenshot. Thank you very much.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
So actually, in this ultra modern business world, we actually suffer these kind of technical issues. But anyways, what a great speech. Actually, the representation was very good. And what a great and enlightening speech by the Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani on the SDG 1, eradicating poverty. So thank you very much, Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani, for joining us on this global platform. Now, Professor Dr. Gunjan Shukla, I would like to request please be ready with your speakers. Professor Dr. Gunjan Shukla, are you ready? Are you listening me? Ma'am, please be ready with your speakers. Meanwhile, I'm yes. Yes. Now I would like to invite our other guest speaker, Dr. Tushar Brahmavat, Assistant Professor, Badoli, Gujarat, India. Sir, are you there? Dr. Tushar? Yes, actually, Dr. Tushar has, I think, some technical issues. Dr. Tushar, are you there? No. Dr. Tushar is not with us. Dr. Gunjan Shukla? Yes, you are the co-host now. Dr. Gunjan Shukla, ma'am? Yes, I think there is a problem with the... Yes, just hold on. Let me check this. Okay. So actually, we have to wait with the speakers of the Dr. Gunjan Shukla, ma'am. Now, I would like to request our honorable mentors, Christiana. Christiana, please share your experience about the Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit. Dear, actually, you are the mentor from the land of the Croatia, and you are actually my beloved friend. You are my mentor, and throughout the 17 days of this summit, actually, your gracious presence will enthusiastic all of us. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much for joining us. So, dear, please share your experience, and please also share that what is the importance of the global peace and the sustainable development to empower the world globally.
Thank you, Dr. Supriya, and I'm very honored to, after this speaker before me, they speak about education. That is the first step. If we, Sir Lorenzo said that not just reading and small amount of the writing, we must develop the skills of entrepreneurship, how to make something. We must build the young people and the elders who didn't finish the education regularly. We must make micro qualification to support old people who doesn't have the work, doesn't have the education, and we must support for free education for elders. That is the importance if we want to decrease poverty. We must educate it in several areas of life. That is the health, that is the small skills and small new future skills like computers, programming, like what is the volunteering, why is important that everybody volunteering something. You have one amazing film, I think 20 years before, Paid Forward. It's amazing idea that you made something for 3 people. For 3 people, you can make some good support for new way and developed yourself. That is the film Paid Forward. And because of that film, we can change something in our small area to support unknown people on the street or students or somebody, make good thing for them and go further. And that people who receive the help must make some other 3 people support or help or make change in their life. And because of that, volunteering without money, without any value for you, but for you don't know that people, unknown people on the street. And if we volunteering, as Professor Nada Ratkovic said, if we support the people for with education, because somebody in their life lost the connection with education, with learning, with relearning. We must update our learning. That is important. And when people have 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years old, they must update their learning. And because of that, in each corner in our streets, villages and small area, low money area, we must develop the small micro qualification, like education on mobile phone. You can learn how to programming, how to develop skills like entrepreneurship, like digital marketing, like networking. What is the networking? And when the people understand the new skills, not just cooking and washing and writing and small reading, we must develop how to fill some assignment in computer on online. People don't understand that, old people, and we must support all them. And that was like maybe idea like traveling education, maybe pop-up education. That is not formal education, that is informal and non-formal education, and we must support that, because the people doesn't have money, doesn't have time, doesn't have support, doesn't have inner initiation. Okay, I will go to learn something. No, as educator, we must came to them, to that old people, and because of that, we must support the society how to develop small micro qualification to all people, not just give the food, give the book, and that's it. What is the next step? What is the higher step after the basic needs of the people? And when we develop the higher skills, then that people in poverty will find strength to fight further. Just give the food, just give the book, the small read, the simple reading. We made that in Africa from 80s. 40 years we didn't move further, because we must, after food, after basic needs, develop the new future skills. That is important. Don't forget that. Because if we share just food and some basic learning skills, they can develop and they can join in the train of the future skills.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Christiana. Actually, in every summit of the Global Peace and Sustainable Development, in every edition of the Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit, your thoughts actually enlighten all the peoples, all the educators, and actually we are very much honored to have you in this global platform, dear. Thank you very much for,
Thank you.
yes, thank you, dear. Thank you. Now, I would like to request our honorable guest speaker, Raymond H. Benzuela, LPT, CFPM, CGSP, Education Program Consultant from the land of Philippines. He is from the San Pablo City, Laguna. So, Raymond sir, yes, you are the co-host now. Sir, the virtual stage is yours, sir.
All right. So, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, sir. Welcome, sir, in this global stage, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. So, may I share my presentation? Okay. So, is my presentation visible?
Yes, sir. Please make a slideshow, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. Yes, sir. Perfectly, sir. Perfectly. Yes, sir. Please proceed, sir.
Okay. So, first and foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Witty Gossip Association and expression for the opportunity to be one of the guest speaker here today at the Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit. My name is Raymond Banzuela, and I'm one of the technical educator here in the Philippines. And one of my primary responsibilities here is to serve as an education program consultant, primarily in the field of technical and vocational education, where I am in charge of a competency-based curriculum design, learning materials, and competency standard development. All right. So before we go to the topic on sustainable development number 1, no poverty, it is better to the first understand what sustainable development goal is. So the Sustainable Development Goal, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, all people enjoy peace and prosperity. All right, so poverty is defined as a lack of money or material possessions to live on. And furthermore, it is defined as people's inability to meet their basic needs. According to the most recent estimates, 10% of the world's population live on or below $1.9 per day in 2015. And here in the Philippines, 23.7% of Filipinos were poor, translating to 26.14 million people are living in poverty. All right, so poverty has undoubtedly been a long-standing economic issue here in the Philippines. So the proportion of families living below the official poverty line has gradually increased over the last 4 decades. And then furthermore, economic growth has not resulted in poverty reduction in a recent year. And then according to the latest official data from the Philippine Statistics Authority, there are still more poor Filipinos today compared to 2018. And then 19.99 million people in the country will be poor in 2021. And that is amounting to 18.1% of the total population. So between 2018 and 2021, approximately 2.3 million Filipinos were pushed into poverty. And primarily as a result of this pandemic economic impact. All right, so this is one of the strategies of our country, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, is one of the government agencies that helps to alleviate poverty in the Philippines. So the Pantawid Pamilya Pilipino program, also known as 4PHIS, is the National Poverty Reduction Strategy and a human capital investment programs that provides a conditional cash transfer to poor household for a maximum period of 7 years to improve the health, nutrition, and education aspect of their lives. The National Advisory Council may recommend a longer period under exceptional circumstances. Selection of a qualified household beneficiaries on a nationwide basis. The DSWD shall select qualified household beneficiaries of 4PHIS using the standardized, I'm sorry, targeting system. So the eligible beneficiaries are the farmers, fisher folks, homeless families, indigenous peoples, and those in the informal settler sector, and of course, those in a geographically isolated disadvantaged areas, including those in areas without electricity, shall be automatically included in the standardized targeting. And then the World Bank reported in 2015 that poor peace beneficiaries has reduced in their income gap to 7.4%, indicating that the program has helped reduce shorter poverty. All right. So Caritas Manila is a non-profit organization that serves as a lead social service and development ministry of a Catholic Church in the Philippines. So the organization's mission is to promote total human development, alleviate poverty, and establish a Christian community with a strong social conscience. And then one of their programs is the Youth Servant Leadership and Education Program, which aims to give low-income youth the opportunity to pursue a college or a vocational degree. So they have already 4,639 scholars in 2021, with 667 of them graduating with honors and awards. All right, poverty or kahirapan in Filipino language is defined as a state of deprivation. It is the condition of someone who lacks specific capabilities, choices, security, and power required to enjoy an adequate standard of living. It is also a multidimensional concept that may include social, economic, and political components. All right, what you see on your screen is a situation in which the number of people with COVID-19 is extremely high, especially between the first quarter of 2020 until 2021. So this pandemic has had a great impact on Filipinos, and many have lost their jobs. And if you notice, the person referred to here is one of the jeepney drivers who have lost income due to the limited movement of people. And then during this period, the country's economy collapsed, and more people struggled to meet their daily expenses. So over 2.3 million Filipinos fell into poverty between 2018 and 2021, primarily as a result of pandemic's economic collapse. Poverty increased to around 20 million, or 18.1% of the population in 2021, up to the 16.7% in 2018. So these figures exceeded the government's target of 15.5% to 17.5%. However, aside from the pandemic situation, what factors contribute to the poverty in the Philippines? And based on some research, I discovered 4 main causes of poverty, which are: number one, poor governance. In this economic growth has a negative impact on the poverty reduction efforts. Corruption causes inefficient use of public funds and the misappropriation of resources for private gain rather than public benefit. And a more efficient allocation means fewer resources for poverty relief programs such as education and health. And misallocation of resources means fewer resources of essential services such as the infrastructure development, which would promote economic growth by creating jobs and improving productivity. All right. So, but right now, our government is making an effort to achieve what is expected to be a good solution to poverty through the various government branches initiatives on poverty alleviation. And one of them is I'm proud to say, the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, with whom I am accredited and collaborate to provide free and high quality technical and vocational education services. In fact, according to Publicus Asia Incorporated, as you can see in your screen, the agency now leads the survey with a high approval rating and a high trust rating for providing excellent programs and public services. All right, another source of poverty in the country is unemployment. The unemployment rate has been steadily rising, leaving millions of people without jobs or any source of income. And then people cannot earn money from working when there are no jobs available. So they will remain poor unless something is done soon. The unemployment rate, median wages, and wage inequality are all significant determinants of poverty, according to research from the American National Profit Organization under National Bureau of Economic Research. A 1% increase in unemployment result in the 0.4 to 0.7 increase in poverty rates, while 10% increase in the minimum wage result to 2% decrease in the poverty rates. So another leading cause of poverty is the limited access to healthcare services. Poverty increases the chances of poor health, which traps people in poverty. Every year, infectious and neglected tropical diseases kill the most vulnerable and well-publicized people. The expense of medical care in a course of medication can put a significant financial strain on the patient and their family members. And in the worst case scenario, the financial burden may force families to sell their belongings, pull their children out of school to work, or even resort to begging. And the last one is the limited educational opportunities. Poverty and education are closely linked. A child is less likely to receive an education if his or her parents are unable to earn a living. As a result, a child who does not receive an education is unlikely to be able to support himself in the future, perpetuating the cycle of poverty. Although this is the case of the majority of our community, pre-technical and vocational education programs help to meet the needs of people by providing skills training that is relevant to their business, community, and the industry. There are numerous technical education scholarship programs that meet these needs, such as the Special Training for Employment Program, or STEP, for citizens who want to have skills that can be used in business or self-employment, which includes the pre-skills training and competency assessment, the pre-entrepreneurs training, and the pre-starter starter toolkits. Sorry, that include learners' financial allowance. All right. So another of TESDA's excellence program is the Training for Work Scholarship programs, which aims addresses the issues of job skills mismatch. and has the primary goal of ensuring that the industry's labor force requirements are met. It provides pre-training skills and assessment. And as you can see, the TESDA Abot Lahat logo at the bottom of the screen depicted as a deliverer and partner, mandated to serve the needs of industry and different social groups considered poor, underprivileged, and educated, marred in poverty and hopelessness. All right, so poverty is a problem in every country nowadays, with people not have enough money to meet basic needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. So according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, the country has 19.99 million people living in poverty. And these are the suggested actions to help resolve and address poverty in order to address social issues. Number one is to create an awareness. Social media, as we all know, has become an integral part of our daily lives, and it can be used to raise awareness for social causes. Posting links on Facebook, Twitters, and other platforms can help people learn more about poverty and raise awareness about the issues. The second one is donation. Donation can help in a variety of ways and do not always have to be monetary. For example, donating old books to poor children and purchasing groceries for poor families to combat hunger. Donating old clothes, furniture, and other necessities can also help improve the well-being of the poor. And then another one is aid in the creation of jobs for the poor. And this is indeed one of the goals of the technical vocational education system through programs that will help every Filipino get a job. Ayan, no? And according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, 2.93 million Filipinos are unemployed. And more employment opportunities means more chances to escape poverty. And some methods for increasing employment among literary people can be taught. And lastly, educate the poor or underprivileged. Reading skills can lift millions of people out of extreme poverty. Educating children can be accomplished by developing programs that will aid in their learning, such as teaching them how to read and write and reading them some stories. And for me, as an educator, I will never stop reaching out my help to our less fortunate countrymen by delivering fascinating and excellent services and quality education to meet poverty, even in the simple things that can be shared. I will fulfill it for a better future. Let us always consider the welfare of the majority. Let us always live the spirit of heroism. It's a great feeling to be able to help, even if it is for something small. The greatest sin is when you have to help, but do nothing. All right, so I think that's the end of my presentation from the Pearl of the Orient Sea here in the Philippines. I would like to say, mabuhay. This is our Filipino brand of service gestures here to greet and welcome guests. And of course, the people of India, namaste. Okay, and from different parts of the world, thank you very much to everyone who listened and did not let go until the end of my presentation. I would like to congratulate Witty Gossip for a successful campaign through this kind of very important initiative. God bless us all.
Thank you. Dear Raymond, sir, could you please stop sharing? Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Means what an enlightening presentation. Actually, you talked about that we have to create the awareness. Yes, that is the important thing. And you actually talked that we have to educate the poor and the underprivileged people. Sir, sir, actually, I would like to capture. Sir, please do this, the Filipino gesture.
Nice.
Yes, sir. So I'm giving you a spotlight again. Yes, sir. Oh, wow. Amazing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, please tell me more about this gesture, sir.
It's how we
Okay. Sir, are you there? Raymond, sir, is there any problem? Okay, I think there is some technical issue with the Raymond, sir. Yes, actually, this is the gesture of the country of the Philippines, land of the Philippines. So actually, I think Raymond sir has left the meeting. Yes. Anyways, we have a very prestigious guest of honor from the land of India, Mr. Sandeep Shukla sir, the MD of the, the CMD of the Vikrant Group of Institution. So, Dr. Sandeep Shukla sir, on behalf of Team Witty Gossip Association and Expression Learning Resource Private Limited, I welcome you in this global stage platform, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now this virtual stage is yours, sir. Please share your views and enlighten, sir.
Thank you, Supriya ma'am. And first of all, good morning to one and all, and namaste from India. And I congratulate everyone to be a part of such a great international platform. I feel very honored and privileged to be a part of this event in 2023. Where can I really contribute my thoughts and throw some lights on important global issues? In Asia, I think 320 million people live in multidimensional poverty. Single meal is a big issue in many places. Currently, 2 million people do not have access to a clean water, and approx 8 million people is suffering from for hunger. So far as sustainable development goal is concerned, the 17 sustainable goals are a very important milestone to be achieved by 2030. And we, the researchers and academicians and young generations can really come up with new ideas which can be converted into policies or for a big change. On day one, I just wish to say that Sustainable Development Goal 1, that is no poverty, is a very important aspect to considered by all the countries. As now as we talk about multidimensional index like health, education, living standard, when we look into poverty, I am glad to that India has ranked 66 out of 109 countries. Yes, many missions are working in India to eradicate the poverty, be it women empowerment, girl education, nutrition, and sanitization, Jan Dhan Yojana, and so many more schemes are there in India to eradicate the poverty. It actually allows us to understand and evaluate the schemes also, so that if any changes still required can be made after such an evaluation. To measure the actual growth of the country, such index and initiatives are needed. In fact, the schemes and all funding supports and budding entrepreneurs shows a tremendous empowerment in overall scenario, which will remove or reduce the poverty. So once again, I congratulate overall I just want to mention a line by the Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon by which you can use to change the world. It means educate the people and aware the people, and we again fight with the no poverty. Thank you very much. And once again, I congratulate everyone to look forward to listen more from the participants today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sandeep Shukla, sir, for this amazing speech, for this amazing address. Actually, we are very grateful that today you actually joined us and enlightened us. And actually, you shared your views about the SDG 1, no poverty. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Yes.
Thank you.
Sir, please do this gesture again. So now I would like to capture you. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Now, Professor Dr. Gunjan Shukla, are you ready with your student speaker?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So before starting the student presentation, I would like to request again Raymond sir. Raymond sir now has the network. So Raymond sir, could you please on the camera? Sir Raymond, actually, I'm requesting you please on the camera, if possible. I think there is again with the problem. Yes. So Dr. Gunjan Shukla, principal of Vikrant Group of Institution. Now she is ready with the student, and the name of the student is, just hold on.
Ma'am, Miss Himani Yadav is there in the participants list, so you can give the rights to her to share her screen.
Yeah, sure. So I would like to request technical team. Miss Himani Yadav in the participant list is already there. She is the BBA first year student from the Vikrant Group of Institution.
Yes, ma'am. She is co-host now.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yes. So Himani, please proceed.
Share screen below. Share screen below. Khula. नहीं खुल रहा है। तो मैंने फोन से रीड कर बोलो आप उनको। Just a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I would like to request the technical team to give me rights to share the screen because due to some reason she's not able to.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, yes.
Yes,
ma'am.
Miss Himani, you can start.
Good morning, everyone. Namaste from India. I am a BBA first year student of Vikrant Institute of Integrated and Advanced Studies. I will talk about topic goal 1. Introduction. Poverty is one of the major causes which most of the countries right now are facing, especially the developing country, in order to reduce this poverty. Poverty in India is caused due to various reasons, which are rate of inflation, redundancy level in Indian country, deficiency of proficient entrepreneurs and capital, social factors affecting poverty, education problems. Many poverty alleviation programs has been initiated by Indian government, like wages employment programs, self-employment program, food security programs, social security programs, and urban poverty alleviation programs. There are some objectives. First, to study the problems of poverty, performance is in present scenario, and analyzes the forcing poverty reduction activities in India systems. Second, to study major flows to non-achievement of no poverty goals. In this, our major objectives to reduce poverty is to remove all the flows from our country and from the world, like illiteracy, unemployment, and lack of awareness, etc. There are facts and figures. First, between 2015 and 2018, global poverty continued its historical decline, with the global poverty rate falling from 10.1% in 2015 to 8.6% in 2018. Owing to the COVID-19 pandemic, the global poverty rate increased sharply from 8.3% in 2019 to 9.2% in 2020, rewinding programs by about 3 years. Russia and Ukraine are estimated that this combined crisis will lead to an addition 75 to 95 millions people living in extreme poverty in 2022, compared with pre-pandemic projection. The losses have been much higher for low-income countries, where poverty reductions has been set back by between 8 and 9 years. Although the poverty rate is projected to decrease to 8.7% in 2021, it was still higher than the pre-pandemic level. For the first time in 2 decades, the world shares of workers living with their families below the international poverty line increased from 6.7% in 2019 to 7.2% in 2020, meaning that an additional 8 million workers were pushed into poverty. Goal 1 target. By 2030, eradicate extreme poverty for all people everywhere, currently measured as people living on less than $1.25 a day. By 2030, reduce at least by half the proportion of men, women, and children of all ages living in poverty in all its definitions according to national definitions. Implement national appropriate social protection system and measures for all, including floors, and by 2030 achieve sustainable coverage of the poor and the vulnerable. By 2030, ensure that all men and women, in particular the poor and the vulnerable, have equal rights to economic resources, as well as access to basic service, ownership and control over land and other forms of poverty, inheritance, natural resources, appropriate new technology and finance service, including microfinance. By 2030, build the resilience of the poor and those in vulnerable situation and reduce their exposure and vulnerability to climate-related extreme events and other economic, social, and environmental shocks and disasters. Effective ways to reduce poverty in the world. First, develop and implement rapid and sustained economic growth policies and programs. Second, provide clean water. By this, poverty can be reduced by providing clean water and sanitation to people. Third, encourage countries to engage in trade as a path out of poverty. Fourth, educate children. People knowledge and awareness in children as youth can demolish poverty. Empower a girl or woman, remove barriers, provide access to technology and innovations, providing all people with access, basic social service, prevent child marriage. and conclusions. The first goal of 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda is to eradicate poverty in all of its form everywhere. It's advocate for social protection, improved access to basic service, and increased relations to the effect of natural disasters, which can devastate people's resources and livelihoods. The international community has agreed through the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda that economic growth must be inclusive, particularly for the poor and vulnerable, and the extreme poverty for all people everywhere be eradicate within the next 15 years. Thank you. At the end, I am grateful to Vikrant Institute and Witty Gossip Association for this platform. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you, Himani, for your wonderful presentation. Here, I would like to mention that the Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit is the joint collaboration, is the joint efforts of the team Expression Learning Resource Private Limited and the team Witty Gossip Association. Thank you very much, Dr. Gunjan Shukla, ma'am. Actually, you put all your rigorous efforts to educate your students about the sustainable development goals. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for the opportunity, because I completely believe the youth has the power to bring the change.
Wow. What
so
a
I
great
congratulate
thought.
all the speakers for today.
Yes.
And I really want the youth of today, especially the students, to be so active and change the world. Thank you.
Wow, what a great thought. Yes, definitely. Only the students, the young minds have the power to bring the change. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. So now it's just time to say goodbye. We have done with all the speakers. Once again, I would like to invite Raymond, sir. Are you there? Actually, I can see your name in the screen. If possible, sir, please switch on your camera. I think the classes in the Philippines are going now. So the Raymond sir is unable to switch on the camera. So anyways, the great day, the great enthusiasm, and actually we begin with the great zeal. Thank you very much. Thank you all the speakers. Thank you all the global conveners. Thank you, Dr. Gunjan Shukla, ma'am. Thank you, Professor Dr. Nada. Thank you, Ambassador Estara from the Malaysia. Thank you, Christiana. Thank you, the whole team of Expression Learning Resource Private Limited, for giving this whole virtual platform, this global platform. Here, I would like to request all of you who have actually the camera on, please do this gesture so the technical team actually capture this beautiful moment. Wow, great. So I would like to request technical team, please do this gesture. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please capture this beautiful moment. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you all our guest speakers. You did it very well. And don't forget that on the last day of the summit, we have the A grade certificate for the presentations and for the great speeches, empowered by the Global Empowerment Awards 2023 and the Global Pride Excellence Awards 2023. So congratulations all the speakers. Thank you, Lorenzo sir, for joining us. Thank you, Raman sir, for joining us. Thank you, JP Satyapati sir. Actually, I saw you very late.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Yes, sir. Sir, we will definitely change your picture in the poster also, sir. And thank you very much. Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Actually, this is the time to say goodbye. Here, I would like to also announce that from the team of authors LA, Shilpi Upadhyay ma'am have joined us as a global convener. So thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Gunjan Shukla, ma'am, for joining us from the team of RFI, Research Foundation of India.
Pleasure, ma'am. Pleasure. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, ma'am.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Rashmi Somani, for joining us from the team of Oriental University, Indore. Actually, there are lots of names. Thank you, Dr. Shukla, for joining us from the team of Vikrant Group of Institution. Thank you, JP sir, from joining us from the team of Imperial College, Odisha. Lisa ma'am, you are the global convener from the Expression Resource Limited. Abha ma'am, our mentor, academic director, ma'am, with the great help of the team of Expression. Actually, we have conducted the day one beautifully. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Thank you for your all support, ma'am. We have some more global conveners. Dr. Parul Shada ma'am, Pawan Anchara sir from the Jaipur, and Rupa Mukherjee sir from the West Bengal. Actually, just because of these whole efforts, joint efforts, we actually conducted the session, and whole 17 days we will talk, we will share our views for the sustainable development. Thank you very much. You can follow all the pages so that you can get the proper communication. Actually, in the chat box, I have already shared the joining link. With the same joining link, all the 17 days, we will conduct this session. So thank you very much. Thank you. So here the beautiful message from our mentor, Malaysia. Congratulations and thank you all the esteemed personalities in team of Witty Gossip and the Expression. We done it. Great effort and great initiative. Thank you, dear Astara, for actually encouraging us. Actually, Christiana is in the car and she told me that whole the 17 days she will with us. Thank you, dear all. Thank you very much. So on tomorrow we will yes. So tomorrow we will address the Sustainable Development Goal to Zero Hunger. So be with us. Thank you very much. Here, actually, I can see, I can see NCR CPAI Press, Mila Floor. Ma'am, ma'am, it's a great pleasure. Actually, you have joined us as a speaker. I would like to request technical team, please give the right. Mila Floor, NCR. Actually, I am repeating again, NCR.
Yes, ma'am. She is
Yes.
post now.
Yes. Ma'am, would you like to say something? Yes, dear Mila Floor, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, would you like to say something?
Yes, thank you very much. I would like to thank Sir Raymond, one of the technical experts in Tibet here in the Philippines. So he invited me to attend for this summit, and I'm very grateful that all the speakers are very well delivered their speeches. So thank you very much. Hopefully, I will join also on the next event of this of your organization.
Thank you, dear.
So
thank
much.
you. Thank you. Dear, would you like to do this gesture? Oh, amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear, for joining us. So it's a time, so it's a time to say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Nagulat ako. Nasaan?